Red, black, aggro. Let's do it. Let's update the stream decker, post on Twitters. We'll be on our way. Alright, so red-black aggro. This is a card that we've talked about a little bit on this stream. This card's very powerful when it gets going, but one of the awkward things about this card in this form, if you note, even the Spectacle cost has 2 black sources in it, and being able to pay black consistently on turn 3 to turn 4 can be tough when you want to play red 1-drops. And a lot of the good aggressive 1-drops cost red mana. So this deck is leaning on Gutterbones and Footlight Fiend as its 1-drops, so that way we can consistently play 1-mana creatures on 1 and still curve out into playing Spawn of Mayhem on 3 to 4. So the mana base, again, the mana base is actually fine here, Night Stars, because if you look at what this deck is doing, it's trying to play this card on 1, and 17 to 18 black sources is the number of black sources you need to play Spawn of Mayhem consistently on turn 3. So the one thing that people often miss is they try to make the mana base match their spells, but in reality, they kind of need to go hand in hand. So, like, the 1-drop selection in this deck has been dictated by the number of black sources for Spawn of Mayhem. So you don't just, like, pick your 1-drops in your Spawn and then build your mana base. Basically, this deck started with, I want to play Spawn, now I need 1-drops that work with the mana base for Spawn. Speaking of, that's a lot of swamps. Pretty easy mulligan here. This hand's an easy mulligan because in addition to missing a color, it also has a lot of lands in it. So this hand's going to need to draw more spells to win the game, but it also needs to draw more lands, which means this hand just doesn't do enough on its own because it needs to draw both lands and spells. Magic has rewarded us very graciously here by kicking us in the dick and saying, here, Jeff, good job trying to mulligan. London Mulligan can't get here soon enough. We are unfortunately on the play, so I'm going to go ahead and bottom this 1-drop. If I was on the draw, I would keep that on top because I'd be able to play it on the first turn. But because I'm on the play, I'm going to bottom it, hoping to draw a more impactful card than that 1-mana creature. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I am fairly confident that they have never tested a mulligan change at a Pro Tour and not implemented it. I'm pretty confident that that's the case. So I'm attacking with this Fireblade Artist here because if they block with the Branch Walker, my Judith trigger kills the Land War Elf. So I get to trade 2 for 1 on this attack, which is good for me. Arena is chugging a little bit. Weird. Usually I have to restart for audio before it starts to chug like this. I think it is unrealistic and unreasonable to posit that you know how this London Mulligan rule is going to play out in formats that you haven't actually played with it. Yeah, thanks for the 2-month resub. For those of you that weren't around when we added the Scry 1 rule, all of the nonsense, pretty much, that people are saying about the potential London Mulligan rule is the same crap people said about the Scry 1 rule. People thought that Scrying 1 was gonna make combo decks too good and too consistent, and Modern and Legacy were gonna be all degenerate decks. Little did they know Modern was going to become all degenerate decks, but it had nothing to do with the Mulligan rule. And we can't go long in a matchup like this, so I think just like smash, smash, smash is the answer here. Yeah, them missing on their extra black source is good. Just letting Spawn get in here a couple of times. Okay, yep. So they're back up to 9, but that's their whole turn. Would love to draw like a 1-drop here or a land. That's technically a 1. That could be a 1-drop and a land. Yeah, it's definitely okay to be skeptical, but it's also important to know your history, right? Like, know that, like, people were skeptical and worried about everything. Do we sack during the upkeep to draw 3? I don't think so, just because this one's still waiting to come back around, so I think I want to just hang tight for now. So I think I just play this draw card. This Sultai matchup always feels tough for these decks. They have a lot of creatures that come up the board. They have Wild Growth Walker. They have Finality. It sounds like a wonderful change. I agree. The decks that will suffer from the new change are decks that are bad and only winning because people get unlucky. Which, to be fair, there's probably a lot of Magic decks out there that fall into that category. They're just actually not very good, but there's enough variance in Magic that they still win games. Solidly into garbage time. Yeah, sure, but what percentage of the time do I get to have Damping Sphere on turn 2, Genesis? Or do I get to have Alpine Moon or X other card that makes Tron sad? Like, what percentage of the time do those games happen? That's the question you need to ask yourself. You can't just look at Magic through the lens of what one thing is doing. The power of everything is format contextual. So, like, sure, that thing you said that gets better does get better, but so do the rest of these things. To make my Altar of the Brood deck more powerful. Thanks for the 16-month skip dash. I think Gutterbones just gets outclassed too quickly in this matchup. Shock's a little bit mediocre. I feel like I kind of just want 4 Rekindling Phoenix in this sideboard, just because Rekindling Phoenix is so good against Sultai, and I think this matchup's pretty hard. Yeah, Jund Aggro is going to be Karsten's deck. It makes Grenzo so much better. It's funny because it's true. Yeah, the answers get more consistent, just like the question decks get more consistent, which just results in likely more quality games of Magic where both players get to do their thing. The spells in this hand are really good, so I'm going to keep. We went second without the draw. That's a great way to put it. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you are someone who enjoys standard, best of 3 constructed, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here. We usually change decks every 60 to 90 minutes. As always, a big shout out to my wonderful subscribers. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support, so thanks to all of them. I'd also like to mention some of my wonderful sponsors really quick. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series is a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. They do standard, modern, and legacy tournaments, and if you can't make it out to play in one of their tournaments, be sure to check out their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG series. I'm actually going to be playing in their standard tournament this Saturday, so be sure to drop in there if you want to see me play some team or climb, hopefully. BCW Supplies is the only one I trust to protect my very valuable Magic the Gathering cards. Using code Jeff10 at bcwsupplies.com, you can save 10% on sleeves, deck boxes, binders, and all sorts of other fantastic stuff. A lot of their products have really awesome price points. The Elite Guard 2s are only $8 for 100 sleeves. That's before you use my discount code. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars. Using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HugoBar, you can save 10% on all of your orders there with them. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. And there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you, all of you, choosing to spend part of your day here with us. I'm going to go ahead and kick these birds up in the sideboard here. Stephen Douglas, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Oh, you know what? I talked about kicking the birds up, but looking at the mana in this deck, that's probably actually not a good decision. 12 red is probably, even the 2 birds is a little sketch. I'm actually going to leave it and just run it back how it is for now. Play another match or two. I don't think Priest of the Forgotten Gods is quite good enough in a deck that doesn't have quite enough ways to enable it. I think you need more cards that, like, put tokens into play or, like, make other bodies when they die. Just Gutterbones isn't good enough to enable Priest, in my opinion. Oh, we're on the play again, so I'm gonna bottom that. We keep scrying 1-drops when we're on the play. It's pretty close to right, admin, so, like, we could maybe tick it down in one direction. Like, 17 is, like, the floor for what's okay to play Spawn on 3. We have 18 black. Amanam Potato. Anamato Potato, thanks for the Prime support. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Thanks for keeping me employed. Yeah, actually, this is a great example of why the London Mulligan be good. Like, if we'd have had the London Mulligan this game, I'd have played a 1-drop on 1 and put a land back into my deck, so I'd have a better chance of playing Magic here instead of just being flooded. This is the part where they have a Conclave Tribunal I just concede. Spawn of Mayhem is a very cool card. The best shell we've played Spawn of Mayhem in so far is actually a white-black shell. We played a white-black Aristocrat Styles deck that I felt pretty reasonable in. Alright, well, we found something to do with our lands. Alright. B, aggressive. B, E, aggressive. Reveler. Reveler was very good there. Maybe we'll kick the mana base one more in the other direction. So we're at 18 black, 12 red right now, and we might be better at 17, 13. We've really been struggling to find red a little bit. Yikes. Yikes. That's a lot of lifelink. Oh, you know what? Did I just miss lethal? Then if you have 10 life or less, put a 1 counter. Oh no, this is still going to get a counter. do a little dance. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So what am I doing here? So Spawn's gonna knock them to 8. Artist would knock them to 6. And my Spawn will be a 5/5. So if I draw a shock, they're dead if I use the Fireblade Artist. You can dance if you wanna. Gonna leave your cows behind. Alright, so this is a blocker. This is a blocker. This is a blocker. Oh yeah, Judy was lethal there too, right? Because they're at 6. So I need to. I go block, block, block. I'm gonna take 5. So we're dead to flourish, but otherwise maybe we have a shot. What was life like for me before Arena? So I've actually been streaming full time on Magic since before Arena was a thing. So I've been around the block a little bit. This is full time just doing modern content here. So if I block like this, I take 8 down to 2. And they're going up to 12. And then Fireblade Artist would deal 3 down to 9. This puts them to 8 and is a 6, so Shock is still lethal next turn. I think we're... What is going on? Stop it! Stop it! I'm so confused. How was your Twitch viewer base grown since MTGA? Yeah, my numbers streaming Arena are on average 100 to 200% more than when we were just streaming Magic Online. So there were a few people who had occasionally broke into like 1,500 and 2,000 people with MTGO on the regular, but it's basically just Newmont and Caleb Durward. And now that Arena exists, there's also myself and Nox and lots of other people that hit those numbers with some consistency. So all of my numbers are better with Arena, which is one of the many reasons why I do more Arena and less Magic Online. This is actually a Lava Coil matchup. I get that it kills Tristani, but I probably should just like kill them before they get to Tristani, right? Maybe Gutterbones is just bad because it's clogged up as well. Oh yeah, day 9. Day 9 has been, it's awesome been having him here. He's grown the Magic community by a lot. I want Bird here because the board state's gonna get gummed up. And Bird goes over a gummed up board state. Not only is Arena's UI better for streaming, there's the overlay integration, there's the fact that you can play it for free, there's the fact that the games are faster so you can play more in a smaller time period. Robot Beater, thanks for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people who can ship those Bezo bucks too. Thanks for sending them my way. You had to... one card to help improve the current standard we could look for. So like, that's a complicated question because in order to make a standard format better, you have to know everything that's going on in it, right? So like, I could recommend a card that I think could help the current format that would be irrelevant in the next format just because of the way the format's going to change and pivot, basically. You can run Arena on your Mac. You can run Arena on your Mac computer the same way I run it on my Linux computer. Via the power of wine. Hey, Spherical Man, thanks for the 213 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Using Parallels is infinitely more overhead than using Wine. Wine is not an emulator. Parallels runs an entire Windows operating system on your OS X operating system. It is night and day, the difference in performance, especially if you are playing a video game that's 3D. Your performance under Wine will almost always be better. Well, I can never beat Lyra. It feels weird taking a card out of their hand and not getting to surveil. Like, where's my thought eraser, bro? I think we're gonna die here because we don't have a land. I think I just attack here and then light up the stage. I think I just Rix Maadi, ditch Rix Maadi. Like, they just go, like, land, and then they get to, like, march this turn and, like, make a bunch of lifelinkers that I can never beat. Correct. I should wait to play the land if I have light at the stage. I agree with that conclusion. I'm gonna attack with one of these because I would like to light up the stage here. And this time it didn't matter when I played the light up the stage because I already had a land in exile. Oh, blocking there makes sense. I just assumed they were gonna kill my Rix Maadi, but I guess just blocking like that makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, I agree again, sir. Red-black aggro is something people have been really trying to make work, and I'm not sure that there's really something meaningful here. There's a lot of different directions you could pull in, and they all kind of end up feeling worse than mono-red aggro. There's a build of mono-red on our red-black aggro on my website that, like, plays experimental frenzies and stuff like that. It's like doing the good red things. They have another merch here. There are a couple of Mardu hero decks that did well at the Pro Tour that I'm interested in giving a try to, but the non-Pro Tour lists that we've played, or non-Mythic Championship lists, whatever we're calling it with the branding these days, haven't felt very good. So I'm interested to see if maybe something that they did makes it feel better or worse. We're gonna pivot the mana base a touch in one direction, but if we get Dumpster one more time, we're probably gonna be off of this. I don't know that these colors, like, I feel like leaning into this card and, like, Gutterbones, you're just, like, giving up too much of the power that you get from being base red, and for, like, not enough of a payoff. Like, there's just too much efficient removal in this format for, like, Spawn to be a reliable finisher. Like, when Spawn lives, it's wonderful, but, like, it just doesn't live often enough, and if you want a flying finisher in mono red, you should probably just play Rekindling Phoenix. I think if you are going to play red-black aggro, you're better off being closer to mono-red splash Judith rather than this base black deck that has awkward mana. Yeah, I agree, Bros Power. We played some white-black aristocrat-style decks. They've also felt very reasonable. Alright, well, that bodes well. So, playing against another red-black deck, it looks like. Our start here is very good. We get to attack with both Footlight Fiends here, and then go land spawn next turn. Sure. That's why I left my extra spawn over here. This deck's probably pretty reasonable against an off-meta control deck. Like, control decks are going to have a hard time dealing with the variety of threats that this deck can put into play. Go ahead and cast this now, so we can get the cards guaranteed. They have Ritualist that they take 5 here down to 8, and the shock puts them to 6, but we're still going to be in a pretty bad spot if they have a sweeper here. We don't have any kind of follow-up, so we just drawn a bunch of lands. Now that's probably beatable. Okay. Alright, cooking with gas here. Drill on into that little head of yours, see what you got going on. And, like, remember, with these Footlight Fiends in play, unless they have Cry of the Canarium in their deck, they're basically at 2 less life than they'd otherwise be. Dang it. Dang it, Bobby! Yeah, I think we're done. Foot, meat mouth. This is good. This is good. This is good. Shock probably doesn't have a ton of texture. Actually, Lava Coil's probably best. It kills Hostage Shaker and it kills Nicol Bolas. Let's give this a go. I don't think this is a Duress matchup. Like, I don't really have anything I want to cut. The fact that they're, like, a creature-based control deck makes Duress a lot worse. Like, I'd certainly bring in Duress against Esper, I think. But against, like, Hostage Shakers and Nicol Bolas... God, maybe you don't even bring it against Esper because they have so many creatures in their deck. I don't think Priest solves any problems that this deck really has. And this deck doesn't have a steady flow of creatures who sacrifice to Priest. Priest is much better in a shell with things like, what's it called? Like Hunted Witness and stuff like that in white-black. I agree. If we end up getting dumpstered here, this might be a quick one. Sometimes they go real fast. We've got exactly Gutterbones. You need more than just Gutterbones, right? Because you're not always gonna draw your Gutterbones with your Priest. So, like, you need more than one enabler to play a card like Priest. I'd say you'd probably want somewhere between 10 to 12 enablers, like cards that are good to sacrifice. Rank resets this afternoon. Yeah, Goblin Instigators, cards like Midnight Reaper, cards like the Goblin War Boss that makes a token every turn, stuff like that would be enablers again. Would be enablers that you would look for Priest. I think I just have to make a play here. Does Dimir Control do anything right now? So, it's not a control deck, but there was a mid-range deck that was a Dimir deck that was successful at the Mythic Championship. Seth Banfield and some other people on his team played it, I believe. Yep. I like playing out Spawn of Mayhem this turn rather than Midnight Reaper, because Spawn of Mayhem's a little bit better against Ritual of Soot, because even though we only pay 3 mana for it with Spectacle, it still costs 4, so it doesn't die to Ritual. Yeah, the Mardu list from the PT seem interesting. Priest is a card that consistently overperforms when we play it, so it would not surprise me if there's a good shell that can enable it well. No, I don't know how I ever beat a 4/4. I guess it starts by drawing a bunch of cards. Actually, I can attack with this. If they block, we trade, right? So, do I put them to 6 and draw 3? Or do I trade here? I think I'm supposed to put them to 6 and draw 3. Probably supposed to hold that Dragonskull Summit in case they play Disinformation Campaign or another Bolas. Yeah, playing the land out was wrong. They cast Ritualist Soot, they take 4 and go to 2, and then I have a Rekindling Phoenix in play. Maybe they just didn't have another play. Kill you. Yeah, they probably just didn't have another play, and they'd hope I didn't see it. How do you feel about Bedevil versus Lava Coil, knowing they have Niv? I think I'd rather have Lava Coil because it's more mana efficient. We just hope to kill them through Niv in situations like that. I think I agree with the takeaway that was just posted in chat. Judy's good, and the rest is kind of middling. And that's kind of been my take as far as red-black aggro is concerned. If you look at the red-black aggro deck on my website, it's basically red aggro splash Judith, because Judith is the one best thing that you gain from being in black. Favorite vegan snack? I don't know which of my snacks are vegan. I eat a lot of dairy. Yeah, there was a red-black mid-range deck that literally won a Pro Tour, or won a Grand Prix. Won one Grand Prix Memphis. I'm a vegetarian, I'm not a vegan. Dairy's great. Slagyo, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. There's nothing more magic Twitch chat than, hey, this deck's reasonable, it recently won a major tournament, than for someone to pop up with no validation and be like, nah, bro, play this other version, it's just better. Just like, nothing embodies the confidence of Twitch chat more than a comment like that. Hopefully we draw a land next turn so we get to Spectacle this Rix Maadi and draw 3. I don't play in Mythic Championships or Wizards of the Coast events, really. Historically speaking, playing Wizards of the Coast events has been a bad EV perspective. The time and money it takes invested to, like, qualify for anything meaningful is bad. I'll probably try and qualify now that we can do it on Arena, because Arena's great and slick, but historically speaking, I don't play in things like that. No. Watsy doesn't invite me to things. As far as this is concerned, I'm gonna be done with this. The payoff that this card provides is not proportional to the amount of awkward you have to make your red aggro deck to make it functional. So I just feel like this is worse. Like, I think Judith's really good. I think there's red-black shells that are reasonable with Judith. You can find my preferred build on my website, jeffhoagland.com, under standard decks. But I feel like what this deck is doing to try and pivot to make Spawn castable is just much worse in terms of power level than being a red splash black deck for Judith. If you are looking for a deck to play Spawn of Mayhem in, I would highly recommend checking out the black-white aggro aristocrats deck that we played with Spawn in. It felt very, very reasonable. Right, what are we doing next? We got Jund aggro up next. This is Frank Hurston's Jund Warriors from the Mythic Championship Cleveland. Build looks pretty sweet. Post it on Twitter, update the Stream Decker. Moving right along.